Okay, let's talk about something that's been blowing up in the MMA world, because honestly, this situation is wilder than a double overtime title fight. So here's the deal: Tom Aspinall, the UFC heavyweight champ, gets poked in the eye by Ciryl Gane in October 2025. The fight ends in a no contest. Aspinall needs double eye surgery, and suddenly everyone's acting like he's the villain for not toughing it out. Wait, what? This isn't WWE, right? Fighters shouldn't have to risk blindness to prove they're tough. But Cormier and Joe Rogan are stepping in to say, hold up, Aspinall made the smart call. And honestly, this debate is way bigger than one fight. Let's unpack it. First off, why does Cormier's take even matter? Because he's not just some ex-fighter with a podcast, he's a guy who's been in the octagon, he's held titles, he knows what it's like to have a championship on the line. And his point isn't just about Aspinall, it's about perspective. He's saying, you're looking at the first 10 minutes of a 25-minute fight. Gane was winning, sure, but does that mean Aspinall should gamble with his vision to prove a point? Personally, I think this is where casual fans miss the nuance. They're screaming, finish the fight, but forget that a title belt isn't just a trophy, it's a career, a legacy, and sometimes, your literal health. Now, Joe Rogan defending Aspinall? Yeah, that's not shocking. Rogan's been around long enough to see how the sport eats its heroes alive. What's fascinating here is how his voice shapes public opinion. Let's be real, Rogan's podcast has more influence than half the UFC's PR team. But what's the deeper issue? It's the tension between fan expectations and fighter safety. MMA fans love a war, but we're also seeing a shift where athletes aren't just warriors, they're brands, they're businessmen. Aspinall protected his asset, which in this case is literally his eyesight. If you're a champion, your title isn't just about pride, it's your livelihood. So why are people mad that he prioritized his health over a "let's see if I get knocked out" scenario? Then there's the aftermath. Gane goes on to beat Pereira for an interim title. So the division's got two belts brewing? Classic UFC drama. But here's the twist, this isn't just a storyline. It's a reminder of how fragile these title reigns are. Cormier nails it when he says Aspinall was protecting something bigger. Think about it, how many fighters have lost more than a belt because they stayed in too long? We're talking career-ending injuries, long-term damage. The fact that Aspinall could walk away, get surgery, and still hold the title until the rematch? That's not weakness, that's strategy. And yet, the internet's hot takes are all over him. What many people don't realize is that this isn't just about one fight, it's about how the UFC handles injuries moving forward. Do they set precedents? Or do they keep letting fans dictate the narrative? Let's zoom out for a second. This whole saga reflects a bigger shift in combat sports. We're seeing athletes take more control of their narratives, their health, and their careers. It's not the 90s anymore, fighters aren't just brawlers who show up and risk everything. They've got teams, sponsors, long-term plans. So when Aspinall says, "I'm not fighting blind," he's not just saving his belt, he's setting a precedent. And Cormier, as a former champ, gets that. He's not just defending Aspinall, he's defending the evolution of the sport. Because here's the thing, if you're a champion, sometimes the hardest part of the job isn't the fight itself. It's knowing when to say, "not today." And maybe that's the real championship mindset, choosing longevity over a moment of glory. So what's next? The rematch is coming, right? But here's the question I can't stop thinking about, will fans remember the context when these two fight again? Or will they still act like Aspinall failed because he prioritized his health? Because let's be honest, this isn't just about two fighters. It's about what we value as fans. Do we want blood-soaked drama at the cost of the athlete's well-being? Or do we accept that sometimes, walking away is the toughest win of all? Drop your thoughts below, because I guarantee this isn't the last time we'll see this dilemma in the octagon.